Hi, Yvonne Musso here with ATG USA to talk about blocks, dynamic, and attribute blocks. Blocks are one of the most important object types in AutoCAD, and they are used often. Blocks are a collection of line work, images, and text that acts as a single object, and unlike the group command, you can assign an insertion point used frequently throughout the drawing and can be shared. Many organizations have adopted the use of blocks and have invested time to create their own set of standard blocks. They help keep consistency in the project drawing and avoid recreating the same object, a huge time saver. One of the most important and frequently used block is the title block, particularly an attribute block that has field inserts that reference the sheet's set properties. I'm in Paperspace, and I will use the insert command to insert a sample title block. I do have a sample sheet set available. The insertion point of the title block is set to insert at 0, 0, 0. So uncheck the manual insert and double-click on the block to insert. It is an attribute block. This dialog will appear. We can make edits at this time. I will not make any changes. The insert fields are to reference the sheet set properties. Click on OK to accept. I will add the file drawing to the sheet set I currently have open. Just right-click on the tab, select Import as Sheet, and click on Import Checked. Type REA to regen, and the properties from the sheet set will populate. This is what we want, and it is a huge time saver. There are many samples of blocks. This one, for example, is frequently used to denote a cut section of a detailed drawing. It is an attribute and dynamic block. It rotates, it stretches, it flips, and it has view states. This block is a dynamic block with view state and lookup. This one is a dynamic block with an array state. And this one is a static block. Let's create a dynamic attribute block. I will recreate this one. First, let's create the line work as I have here. A simple closed polyline with curved corners and line width of 0.1. Type in B for block or spell it out. In the dialog box, give it a name. I will call it Sample Stamp 1. Here's where you can assign an insertion point. Give this some thought. You can leave it at 0, 0, 0. However, consider the relationship or distance of the line work and the 0, 0, 0 location. This can be a huge distance apart. I will select it manually so that the insertion point is relatively near to the line work or object. Click on Pick Point. It will take you back to the drawing, and I will select the lower right side nearest the object, and here it is. I will click on Select Object, and again, back in the drawing, I will select the object. I will click on the radio button to convert to block, and I will add a check mark to scale uniformly and allow exploding. Click on OK to accept. We have a static block. Now let's edit the block. We want to change the static block to a dynamic attribute block. Right-click and select Block Editor. Okay, this is where it happens. In the Parameters tab, select Linear. Distant 1 will be the stretch from the center, the start of the stretch, and left, the direction of the stretch. Select Linear again. Distant 2 will be the stretch from the center and down. Select Linear again, and distant 3 will be the stretch from the center and right. Now let's add the actions. Click on the Actions tab and select Stretch. Select the parameter distant 1. It will prompt you to select the start point. I will select the left point. See the red X, which indicates the point. Or you can type T for the start and select. You can also add a second point, but not for this example. Then it will prompt you to draw the stretch frame. which allows you to indicate what area of the drawing within the parameters to stretch. I will draw the stretch frame starting from the bottom of the rectangular shape and move to the left, making sure to enclose the line work and the arrow symbol that belongs to the distant 2. I would like it to move with the stretch. You will see this in play when done. Now select the objects. Continue in the same step for parameter distant 2 and 3. OK. When all done, you should have these stretch action tags. When you click on it, it will highlight the stretch frame and the object or objects associated to the parameter and action. And if you right-click, it will allow for more edits. The exclamation tag indicates that there is no action assigned to this point. Let's do a test block. Click on Test Block, test all the stretch parameters, and all looks good. Click on Stop Test Block. Let's add the attribute text. Type ATT for attributes. The attribute definition dialog box appears. Under Mode, add a checkmark for lock position. Under Attribute tag, type in title text. No spaces. For prompt, type title text. Spaces are allowed here. And for default, type in title text. Spaces are allowed here as well. You can assign a field and reference, for example, from the current sheet set, project phase and project milestone. Let's cancel on this and let's just have text. Text setting. For justification, the drop-down arrow, select top center. For text, select a text style that will only be used for blocks. I have such a style called T-block. Also make sure that the style has no settings set and it is not annotative. These settings should be set here. For text height, type in 0.3, rotation leave as 0. For the insertion point, add a check mark and specify on screen. And let's place it here. Click on the text, and in the Properties palette, you can continue to make changes to the text before you close out and accept the block. Okay, let's accept the block. Click on Close Block Editor and select Save the Changes. Now let's click on the block, select an arrow, and see it stretch. And for Edit Text, double-click on it and edit text. Now these two dynamic attribute blocks are similar. I used the same steps to create them, but this one has Field Insert to reference the current sheet set phase and milestone from the start. So at Insert, they automatically populate the data from the current sheet set. Let's see this in play. Let's right-click on the title of the sheet set, click on Properties, and type in for the phase 50% submittal, and for the milestone, type in September 2021. Click on OK to accept, and type in REA to regen all, and see the changes. Again, a huge time saver. Okay, now it's your turn. Explore and see what works for you. From all of us at ATG USA, thank you.